morning. This is a quick demonstration of the Breville Dynamic Duo. So on the right, the Breville Dual Boiler BS920. On the left is the Breville Smart Grinder Pro BCG820. I'm going to be doing a double shot latte this morning, and I've got a scale here to make things consistent with the grinder and the espresso shot. I'm using the double shot single wall basket. Machine's warmed up, it's fully descaled, cleaned. I'm just giving it a quick polish on the outside as well. Everything works fine, of course. Let's do that. Let's try that. And let's try that. So because the dual boiler, obviously you can do both at the same time. Okay. I'm going to turn on my scale here. I've set the grinder to 8.8 seconds and grind setting number 4. That's very close to the finest. The finest is number 1. Of course, you want to adjust that depending on your bean and depending on your preferences. So your bean could be very easy to grind, so you'll have to adjust it accordingly. So if I remember correctly, light roasts are easier to grind. Sorry, light roasts are harder to grind. Dark roasts are easier to grind because dark roasts are cooked for longer, obviously, and they soften up and become very brittle. I've added some more beans now just to do the double shot. I've calibrated this so it's now reading 0, and I'm gonna grind 1 shot at a time. That way I can tamp it halfway and measure it halfway. That's the first one. Let's have a look. Very fine, very fluffy, light in color. I'm very happy with that. Let's tamp it. Weigh. That's about 8.2 grams. Maybe I'll increase the dose to 9.2 over here. Okay, very well. Can you see that? It's coming down in clumps, which is very good. It's a sign of fine coffee and correctly ground coffee. Make sure you spread it around before you press it, just to ensure that there's enough pressure on all sides of the cake. This is called the cake, the pack. Maybe spread it around like that with your fingers. Let's have a look. Clean this rim and these flanges. That's 16.8, maybe a bit more actually. Yeah, it's sort of an experiment. You'll be doing this when you first get the machine and you first try the beans, because it changes with every machine and with every machine. This number's not the same. It's just arbitrary, and it depends on sort of how old the beans, what type of beans you're using, how you like your coffee, things like that. So it's sort of like a nice thing to play. It's sort of a little experiment. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's 19 grams. Should get about 18-19 grams in here. If you don't have a scale, just make sure it's sort of fine and looks like this. And when you tamp, you should go as deep as the silver part, not more, not less. So sort of like that. I don't know if you can see that properly on camera. Sort of like that. And when you tamp, twist and make sure it's even. Right, okay, I'm going to put it in tight. And I've got my cup here. I'm going to press the 2-shot button. Keep an eye on the gauge as well. That's a sign of how correct you've dosed. So if it's very low when it's going full pressure, if it's very low, that means your coffee needs to be finer. If it's very high, that also means you need to change it and go coarser. It'll start by going to the pre-infusion phase and then going to the full 9-10 bars of pressure. Also keep an eye on the flow. If it's dripping and not going constantly, that means it's too fine and it's clogging up the handle. If it's way too runny and gushing out of the portafilter, then that's way too coarse, and you need to make your coffee finer. That's the pre-infusion phase, and there we go. Very nice, silky, smooth. Constantly dripping, not dropping in drops, not runny. So you also could keep an eye on the color. So depending on what's the color, it's going to be a good indicator. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's do the milk now. Obviously, because it's a dual boil, I could have done the two at the same time, but for the sake of the video, I like to do it separately. Pour my milk here. Not sponsored by Coles. Cold full cream milk is best. You could try other types of milk, so almond milk, low fat milk, but I find this one to be the tastiest and the easiest to fry. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, but this will come with the grinder as well. It's sort of this bin container that contains your espresso in case you want to grind multiple doses at a time, or if you want to do like French press or percolator, you can just get a scoop and scoop it out once you're ready to use it, as opposed to grinding it fresh, if you want to do that. What I like to do, I like to purge out my steam wand, get any of that old steam in there, any condensed water. I like some sweetness with my coffee, so I'm going to add some sugar to my espresso. It's done. Right. While that's dissolving, here's your steam wand. Very strong steam, 3 holes on the bottom, rubber handle, 360-degree joint. Takes about 20 seconds to finish steaming the milk. And by the way, in case you were wondering, my milk is up to here, about a centimeter below the, or half a centimeter below the spout, if you can see that. Okay. Keep listening to the noise. The type of noise will indicate how you're steaming the milk. That hissing noise is you injecting air. So if you're not hearing any of that hissing noise, that means you're not injecting air. But you don't want to be injecting air all the time, otherwise it'll be too bubbly like a cappuccino or something. I'm happy with that. So very quickly, grab a wet towel and wipe the steam on. Purge it up. You don't want milk to stick inside and get stuck. This is very easy to clean, just wet towel. And it's done. Yeah, purge out, you don't want any milk stuck in the holes. Otherwise it will stink and it will clog the machine. Yeah, so this machine is quite easy to use. You just have to know what you're doing. Hopefully this video will teach you to know what you're doing and all the steps that you need to take. Obviously when the machine asks you to be clean, clean it. When the machine asks for descaling it. It's quite quite a doable process. I mean, cleaning is easy. Descaling is also doable on this machine because of This new model has this descale port, so you can descale it. It's not that difficult actually. And you get amazing cafe style, cafe quality coffees. Tap your milk just to sort of break any bubbles, and then swirl around to mix it up, and there's not going to be any latte out here because I'm not a good artist, but I know for sure that it tastes amazing. And let me show you the sort of the crema and the milk that you'll be getting. Something like that. And if I was a barista, I'd be doing all sort of tulips and flowers on this coffee, because it's a very capable steam wand. It's one of the better ones that I've used compared to like the Barista Express, the Barista Touch, etc. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this machine. It's very, very beautiful, very clean, and fully functional, and actually is very close to a industrial machine because of the dual boilers, and that means you're able to do multiple coffees at once, milk and coffee at the same time, and it's the perfect setup, I would say. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Have a good one.